Saturday night, Oleksandr Usyk defeats Anthony Joshua and now becomes the unified heavyweight champion of the world. Usyk now holds the WBA, IBF, and WBO portions of the heavyweight title, while Tyson Fury has the WBC belt. Let's talk about the fight. Let's look at Usyk first. So I'll just be straight up. Going into the fight, like many other boxing pundits, I picked Anthony Joshua to win. I didn't think that Usyk could bring his amazing hand speed, coordination, foot speed, and rhythm up to heavyweight. I didn't think he could do that. In his previous fights against Chaz Witherspoon and Chisora, he wasn't setting the world alight. And I'm just thinking down the line, Joshua being a bigger guy, he would get to him, he would rough him up in the clinch and lean his sides on him. That didn't happen. Usyk fought a very good fight. He was very calm under the storm. He looked comfortable in the ring. He didn't run backwards. He moved from side to side. So therefore, AJ wasn't able to set. And he didn't know where to look because Usyk was right, left. And Usyk is very well coordinated. He's got very good hand-eye and foot coordination. So he's all in sync. So he put on a masterclass. And I think he won that. I wouldn't say easy, but he clearly won that fight. I had him winning rounds 1 to 4 without doing like an intricate count. I wasn't counting, but I had him winning rounds 1 to 4. AJ came back in the middle of the fight. Then I had Usyk pulling apart round 9 to 12, and obviously later in the fight, that's when it matters, you know. And also, he closed the show pretty well. He nearly got the knockout in the 12th round. There's a 4-punch combination that he landed on AJ, and AJ was wobbled and close to the ropes and looking like he might go. So props to Usyk. Going forward, I wonder if he's going to start to try and fight in the Ukraine like the Klitschko's did, and have that, and build his fan base there and fill up stadiums there and make it harder for his opponents to defeat him by them having to come into his lines then and take him on. So that may be the move. And if he there's a rematch clause with AJ. Will that fight be in the UK or the Ukraine? I know they're saying the money's in the UK, but Usyk might say, well, I don't care. I'm the champ. You come here. And then down the line, will your Dillian Whites and your Andrew Ruizes, will they fight him there? And how will they do against him? So I'm looking forward to what he's got in the future. Obviously, Tyson Fury would be his harder fight, but we can cover that another day. So props to Usyk, cruiserweight champion, undisputed, moved up to heavyweight and did what many think he couldn't do. He came, he went on the road where the advantages were all against him. He fought the bigger guy, a star brand, the unified heavyweight champion, a puncher, Anthony Joshua, and he beat him. Well done. Let's look at AJ. So during the fight, I thought that AJ got off to a slow start. He definitely was behind, or he couldn't get into the fight rounds 1 to 4. I think in rounds 5 to 8, I saw a little something where he was throwing some good body shots that might be slowing down Usyk. And at that point, many of us, myself included, would have thought, yeah, he's probably going to get to him and put more pressure and slow him down as the fight goes on. But that didn't happen. Usyk soaked it up, and AJ wasn't able to apply any more pressure, and the fight slipped away. And I guess if you're an AJ fan, or if you're critiquing AJ, you're going to probably say he performed kind of poorly. Now, if I'm being honest, I think since the Ruiz defeat, personally, I think he's been damaged a little bit, psychologically. You can tell, in my opinion, in his body language, he looks a bit jittery. He looked nervous on Saturday night against Usyk, but in the rematch against Ruiz, yes, he fought efficiently and didn't take much damage, but he looked nervous. You can't blame him. Knocked out in the fight prior. And even in the Pulev fight, he did win the fight. He threw some good punches and whatnot, but something was missing. It was he didn't have that animal explosion tenacity. That wasn't there from what I saw. And I personally think, and I could be wrong, I think that AJ needs to be trained in a way that complements his natural style. And to me, his natural style is punching with speed and explosiveness. And obviously you're going to have some footwork to go over that. I think they slowed AJ down and they made him very basic, and his hands up, stiff, upright. And I don't know if that's enough to get him to the top of the division. I mean, I know he was kind of at the top anyhow, but down the line, fights against Fury, Wilder, and whoever's coming up, whatever, I don't think that's going to be enough. And I don't think he's that comfortable. I know prior to the fight, Dillian White was saying it looks like AJ's trapped in between styles. He doesn't know, who he is or what he wants to be. Let me read you George Foreman's comment that he put on I think Twitter yesterday. So Foreman said, Saw the Joshua Usyk fight. AJ seemed afraid. He lost his identity. Should I be cautious or go 12 rounds? Attack with my power. Usyk, typical southpaw. If you won't hit me, I'll be a ward and hit you. Something's wrong, not AJ. He took his punishments. Who are you, AJ? Then he also tweeted, AJ seems confused. I've been there. Too many in his ear. Make up your mind and be yourself a puncher. That's coming from George Foreman, former heavyweight champion, the punching preacher, George Foreman grills and all that. And, I'm not going to comment on that, but many are saying that he's trapped in between styles and maybe too many cooks in the kitchen. Me personally, no disrespect, but I think Rob McCracken's done a great job at AJ, but I think to get him to the next level and for him to compete against the elite of the division, the Furies, a rematch of Usyk and young contenders coming up, whatever, I think he needs to work with someone that's going to bring out his athletic attributes. It might be a style where he's kind of hands low on his toes. The hands are low, so your eye vision has to won't be looking at him. It'll be looking more down at his fists, or it'll be looking at him and you don't know where his fists are going. Basically he's below your eye vision. Or it could be a style where he might be, covered up and just catches your punches and counters, the catch and counter style. Who knows? If you know a good trainer that can bring out AJ's best attributes, comment below. Or if you think you know what sort of style of fighting will suit AJ, let me know. But I don't think this stiff style will work for him. In the post-fight press conference, he made it clear that he wants the rematch, and that's what he's going for. But I'm going to give props to, there's a channel called Hatman Strikes Back. When AJ first lost against Ruiz, Hatman said that AJ was rushed to the top from, turning pro up until that point, and that he felt that after defeat, he should regroup, work on his craft, have some lower level fights, and get a new trainer. Like, at the time when I heard that, I kind of thought, that sounds logical, but now, hearing that again, mate, that's on point. That's an on point comment. So like I said, Rob McCracken done a great job with Carl Froch. Well done for getting AJ where he is, but I personally think, no disrespect, I think that new trainer, he's got to look around and find someone that really suits his style. And when he finds that person, he'll know, because he'll be like, yeah, this all feels natural. So yeah, I guess there's nothing more to cover really. Upset. What's your thoughts on the fight? Do you think AJ should take the rematch? If he does take it, do you think he'll win it? I think he'll get stopped, personally, but I could be wrong. And do you think he should have a new trainer? And what does Usyk do going forward? Does he fight in the Ukraine? Does he fight Dylan White? Andy Ruiz? Who should he fight next? Is it MSLB? Mark Stoneman's Boxing? Give me a shout, let me know. Yeah.